All right, good morning, everybody. Coming off the game, was really proud of our guys. Get a chance to go back and watch the film. It was a hard-fought battle. It was a lot of back and forth. Momentum swings. We had some really positive moments, and then some mistakes that made things a lot more interesting than I believe it needed to be. But just like I told the team yesterday, sometimes you have to go through things to be able to get through things. And we needed to see a game ending on the last play where we were able to find success. And the thing that I really, looking back at it, the thing that I appreciated was it took all three phases. Defense getting a stop there in the 2 minute late. Offense having a minute to have to go down the field to put us in a position, and then we had to go execute a field goal on the last play to be able to win it. And to see our guys respond in that fashion, to see the joy, the excitement, the celebration afterwards, something that we need as a football team. There's not been a lot of moments where we've been able to finish a game in that fashion, and that's what we needed to be able to do. So I thought it was a great outcome for us. It's something that we have to be able to build upon. It's something that just like I told the guys yesterday, you can go watch the film and you can see a lot of the things that we emphasize, why they allowed us to be productive. We were 8 of 17 on our cash down situations, third and fourth downs combined, offensively, being able to sustain drives, you had success, 2 of 15 defensively, had a lot of big stops getting off of the field. Look at the red zone, we were able to get some stops holding the field goals, had the goal line stand, there defensively, and then we're 6 for 6 offensively. Penalties, only had 3 for, I think it was 3 for 30 in the game. There's still area for improvement there, but you see growth and steps from our football team of, playing better football. On the flip side of it, we had the turnover. We had 2 turnovers. We're there in the course of the game. Had the one, muff punt. We had, the interception, which was something we have to clean up. But then you look in special teams. We had some real missed opportunities. Gave up too many yards in the return game. On our kickoff coverage, and then our punt return and kickoff return game has to get better and has to improve. We spend too much time and emphasis of that throughout the course of practice for it not to show up, and whether it's some indecisiveness there, or just a lack of production maybe at certain positions that we have to improve on. So continuing to, as a team, understand the sense of urgency of growth and the areas that we have to improve in. But all in all, I was really proud that like I said, we were able to come out with a victory, and now a new and great challenge here approaches here on Saturday, having to go on the road. North Carolina is a very explosive football team. You look at not only how they play, but especially how they play at home. This is a team that's played extremely well the last couple of years. They're at home. It's a very dynamic offense. Surrounded by that goes around a quarterback that is very talented. Defensively, it's a unit that's going to attack. They're going to bring a lot of pressure, show you multiple fronts. One that you definitely can create havoc for an offense, and then special teams. They've got some talented athletes. So we've got to put forth our best effort this week. We've got to continue to grow, and we've got to see those things that allowed us to have success the other day. They've got to be able to show up, and we've got to eliminate the mistakes if we want to put ourselves in a position to achieve success on Saturday.
You want to mention?
Oh yeah, and the one thing that I do want to hit on is that some extremely unfortunate news, but Dennis Briggs will be out for the rest of the season. Dennis was having a great year. He missed this last week. His last week's game, and unfortunately, he'll not be able to play for the rest of the season. But really, just the growth that I got to see from him throughout the early part of the year, and just the work they put in the off season. It's unfortunate, especially on the play that it happened on. Is just something that he showed tremendous toughness coming in and playing the rest of the game, and just as we were able to look at things after the game, I mean, just something that he's not going to be able to continue on for the rest of this year. You're excited about what Dennis's future holds and just what he means to this team. We're hopeful that some of the guys, we're without Malcolm this last week, so we were extremely thin on the defensive front last week. We're extremely thin at the end of the secondary last week, but hopefully we'll be able to get some of these guys back for the week ahead.
First question will be Ira, over to your right.
After the game, the players we spoke to, it seemed like there were some mixed emotions, joyous about getting a win, but then also knowing there's a lot of room for improvement. Is that what you've seen from the team since then, after the game Saturday and then again?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and winning a college football game is hard. We've seen how close. I mean, we've had to think that we've had 3 games that have come down to the last play, 4 games that have been on the last drive. That's the margins are very small, and the detail, the effort that goes into that, the execution of what's necessary to be able to achieve success. But we want to play our best game. And as a football team, we were extremely excited to get to win. I mean, like I said, we needed that. But you go back and you watch it, and you see that there's a lot of areas for improvement that maybe we're not playing to the standard that we're capable of. And you look at it defensively, and I thought all in all, I really liked our plan, liked the course of attack of what we were doing. But you had essentially 3 plays on quarterback boots where we were poor tackling, poor effort on a couple of them, just in different places that we allowed a lot bigger plays, over 100 yards total offense on 3 non-designed quarterback scrambles that we were in position, and we got to be able to finish those plays, which allowed points and allowed those explosives that hurt us. But I think as a football team, you see that in all 3 phases. You go back and you watch the tape, and it's a play here, a detail, maybe a missed assignment that showed up that we've got to get corrected. And I'll say that was a lot less, as we went through it, but every play counts and every play matters. So I mean, I think our guys, they had that sense of urgency. I thought last night's practice, I mean, you saw guys that played pretty well, that came out body sore and all those things, but they came out with a true intent to get better, and that's what we have to do. That's what we have to continue to do throughout the course of the season.
All right, we'll go front for Kurt.
Well, I know how happy you were for Jordan to get that moment. I guess going back and watching the film, what did that show you about? I mean, obviously the screen game was a big part of kind of what was that intentional of just giving him kind of easy things to work with and hoping that can build momentum, and then just all of his overall performance. Yeah,
I mean, I think a lot of it was depending on what we were getting, and that was a defense that was attacking from a lot of different places. That was just perimeter run game for us. I mean, if you really look at some of the things that we were trying to do, and I thought Jordan executed really well. There's still some things in our perimeter blocking that we have to be better at, but I thought Jordan was able to get in a rhythm. That was a team that was averaging 4.5 sacks a game, and we knew that there would be times that they would get pressure, but I thought we had a couple opportunities pushing the ball down the field that we weren't able to capitalize on, and that's something we're going to have to improve on moving forward. But all in all, I thought Jordan managed the game well, and not only with what he did with his arms, but also with his feet as well. And so I was really pleased with his performance and the efficiency which he operated.
Next will be Chris Nee, over here to your left.
You talk about special teams being the backbone of your program, and something you guys obviously devote a great deal of time to. Do you adjust how you approach it with them, or is it just maybe rotating guys to see if different guys get different results, or how do you just go about trying to correct something?
I mean, it's a performance based, and we've got to make sure that guys get their opportunities. Sometimes when you're down numbers, and guys are having to play more reps, offensively and defensively, it does tend to get into your depth, and that's shown up a little bit, and showed up in some key places. And but at the end of the day, it's an opportunity to impact, and we've got to perform at a high level. You guys are at practice. You see the investment that we take, and something I've always done, and something I always will do. So we're not, but we got to take the tools that we have, and the personnel that we have and make sure that we're putting in a great position. And then you guys got to go out there and take ownership and perform in that moment. But I believe that I believe we've got really good and very capable guys that can make a positive impact. And there's some real positive things that we're seeing. I mean, our punt unit was able to flip the field the other day. I mean, I thought our punt coverage was really good. We had our opportunities in our punt return game, for one reason or the other, we're not able to capitalize on the explosive. And I mean, those things that we have to be better and more consistent in that. But we continue to work away at it and go get it done.
Next will be Jerry on the left side, third row.
Coach, you had a successful drive with 1:04 to go to kick the field goal to win. Could you talk a little bit about how you managed the clock in that situation, and particularly when there was 9 seconds left? What was the thought process on kicking the field goal like that?
Yeah, we had 3 timeouts going into the drive, so it was as we told our players, it felt like we had an eternity just to really be able to move the ball down the field. We started off with a dual read screen. You were able to get a few yards. You did not use the timeout. Wanted to go with the tempo. We had some success earlier in the game. Utilizing tempo in those situations. Obviously that also allowed Jordan as things got to space and gave him an opportunity. Actually hit a big run there on the second play. Had great downfield blocking by our receivers. I thought that was you always challenge your players. When is effort going to show up on film to make the difference? And we had 3 receivers on that play that you were able to scream. Cam was able to wall his guy out, 2 receivers down the field, and then Jordan, being able to go down the sideline, I thought was huge. But then, as we went through, we were able to use a timeout early. We still had 2 on Jordan's last scramble where we got inside in very comfortable field goal range. The decision of, do you want to take a risk of putting anything in jeopardy, knowing you're in good position. I felt confident where we were. We knew Ryan liked the ball there, left middle, as we could get set. So we decided we made a decision to set him up to go finish and win the game. And so a play that we work and practice, and you're able to middle it, and Ryan went and finished the job. And so I felt good about where we were, and it was kind of a balance of do you want to take a risk of getting a negative, or do you want putting the ball in jeopardy? But we felt like we were in a great range to be able to finish the game, and so that's what we did.
We'll go back to Kurt here in the front.
Maurice may not have been 100%. I know he didn't start the game, but I think he ended up playing the majority of the snaps. I guess just how much of a difference did he make there? And I mean, that was the first time you had probably desired starting 5 since the first half of the Notre Dame game. Just how much can that be something to build around?
No, it was really good, and Bayvion's battled throughout the early part of the season, and he's been battling through some ailments, I would say, physically as well. But as we went through the game, Maurice, we knew he was going to be available there. I guess Friday, and then fully confirmed that Saturday in pregame. But we were going to use him in a reserve fashion as he got out there and got going. He felt good, and I thought even though he didn't play a perfect game by any stretch, there were still some things that he was you got to get back into the rhythm of playing, and I thought that showed up a little bit. But I thought Maurice really did a very nice job for the opportunities that he had. That's gonna allow us to continue to grow and build that continuity that we have up front. We're still managing guys that are getting their bodies right. It's a lot of adversity has faced that group. It's here through the early part of the season, but they're working hard at it, and it's good to get Maurice back into the swing of it.
Come over here to Brendan on the front row.
Mike Norvell was talking about responding to adversity. For Cam, he misses that block on the interception, but then you mentioned he has the big block for Jordan play. How proud of you to see him responding way, and for Keyshawn too, for not having a couple of great games in a row, and for him to have a touchdown and block the way he did, for both those guys to respond.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are 2 great examples. Cam plays a lot of snaps. We asked Cam to do a lot of different things at H-back tight end position, and so it was a play that he was on the interception that he was extremely disappointed in, and at the time, it was a huge play in the game, but, the things that he could control is what he did, after that. And to go out there, Cam has played well for us this year, and, he gives great effort, the way that he comes to work at practice. I mean, he's been, he was banged up a little bit last week, and it was probably the first time since I've been here that he wasn't available for every day in practice, in full capacity. And so when you get out there in the game, there's some things that maybe you've worked, maybe you haven't worked as much, when it comes to technique and fundamentals. And and so as Cam had a play or maybe an assignment here or there, it's the thing that he could control was what he did with it. And I thought he played really hard, was productive in as a pass receiver, and you did some good things as well blocking. But I mean, the effort at the end was what showed up, and it ended up being a huge play that helped us put us in a position to win it.
All right, next we'll go back left for Allison.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned just how important this win was from just a mental standpoint. How was practice yesterday? How was the attitude in the locker room? Just the mindset is a little different than weeks prior?
I mean, guys they're still passionate about improvement, and that's what we have to do. And, you want to have, it's hard to win a college football game. It doesn't matter what, what year, what time. I mean, it's always, it's a lot of investment that goes into it. But that was an emotional win just because of how the game, played out. And, but I thought our guys, there was a fair balance of the excitement of a win, the celebration that you get to have, but also the sense of urgency for improvement. And that is our ultimate focus, is that, are we playing our best football? And, in the areas that you come up short, or the areas that, maybe, there are flaws in your game, what are the steps that we're taking, learning from those examples. And, I thought Saturday provided, a great picture to things that we did well that allowed us to win, and then things that we have to improve if we want to continue to grow and play to the level that we're capable.
Come back to Brendan.
I wanted to ask about Keyshawn as well, and he had a good week of practice, like you said, for him to kind of bounce back from a couple of rough weeks to perform the way he did on
Yeah,
Saturday.
I mean, Keyshawn is a great leader for us. He's a guy that, he comes to work every day. He's had some ups and downs throughout the course of the season, some missed opportunities, but his heart, his passion, it shows up. And for him to go out there and play at a high level was something this football team needs, and he's got to continue to do for us to operate the way that we need to play there offensively.
We'll go back to Ira on the right.
You mentioned being thin in the secondary. You guys have played, I don't know how many different combinations in the back end. Has that been part of the issue with some of the breakdowns back there, just because you had to use so many different guys, or what do you think the reasons are?
I mean, I think it all plays into it. I mean, we've had a lot of injuries. Sometimes, with guys, we've had guys that have had to sit out halves of games, due to targeting issues there early in the season. I think 3 of the games that we were down to safety, for a half of a game. And so I think they're part of that communication, plays into it. But then, there's things that have shown up, in twofold, just one, technique and fundamentals, and the confidence in that throughout, which I thought for the last game and a half, I think our secondary is really taking some positive steps. We had a crossing route where there was a quick motion that showed up that we've got to be better on, but that was all in all, I thought we matched routes really well in the game. There was a couple climb routes that we've got to be better on. But throughout the course of the game, I thought our guys did a nice job, but they're starting to continue to grow in that. I thought our Jarquez McClellan, was somebody that came in and played his most extensive snaps there on Saturday and did some good things. But it's the intensity. We talked about this last week. The intensity that you bring into walkthroughs, to the meeting room, to individual, and carrying that over to team throughout the practice week. If you can get yourself to that game type intensity, it's going to allow you to have that much more confidence when you're there in the moment. And I think last week was probably our best week, in the defensive backfield of trying to apply that, and it showed up. It showed up better there on game day, and that's something that we're going to have to continue to grow with. With the youth that we have, with a lot of the moving pieces that have shown up. that's something that's going to be critical for us as we grow.
We'll go back row on the right to Aslan.
Coach, what are some of the things you guys have tried to demonstrate to Jordan that shows that you guys trusted him? And what are some of the things that he's shown to you guys that demonstrates that he trusts you guys?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you get an opportunity to come out to work. There on the practice field, Jordan's had a challenge at the beginning of the season. Just with different things, injury wise. There were some times and confidence of going out there and playing at a high level. I thought that the Notre Dame game, he did a lot of good things. There was a handful of plays that that he would have liked to have back. It's just as you're growing as a young quarterback, it's just the experience and the repetition of it. Jordan Travis, started the season as our starting quarterback for a reason. We believe in him, and we believe in what he can do and what he brings to this football team and this offense. And his availability has been a little bit limited, from that point to now. And I thought last week, to say that he was 100% on Wednesday he's battling, and he came out and he showed his the opportunity, the confidence that he has in this team and this offense and what we can be. He's pushing through, and I thought he had a really good day Wednesday, and obviously just the way that he's been in the meeting room, the even when he's not been on the field, how engaged he's been in trying to help the other guys in that room. That's how you build trust, and it's even though it's sometimes where it's you're not able to physically make an impact, when you're still willing to invest and make an impact in others, that's it shows that you're trustworthy. And this week or this past week, when we knew that he was going to be able to play at a very high level, he got the call, and he went out there and performed and gave everything that he had, and helped us win that football game.
Come over here to the left for Bob.
Coach, I'm curious, the number of missed tackles on Saturday, did you quantify that? And then how much of it is a reflection of getting guys experience, but also alignment, technique, fundamentals, those kind of aspects?
Are you saying the second question tied to the first?
Well, the first one, I'm curious if you have a number of how many missed tackles that were.
Yeah, there was, the number of missed tackles showed up, on really a handful of plays. And, a lot of that came down to tracking issues. Got to give credit, their quarterback was a big, tough guy to handle in some situations, but, it's still just, things that we work every day when it comes to tracking and making sure that we're putting ourselves in the best position to achieve success. I think throughout the course of looking at this season, that has been we have been a much better tackling team as a whole in the open field. Now those things on the about 130 yards of offense that was produced off of missed tackles, and that has to get corrected. And so, but it was really limited plays where we didn't tackle very well. But those are the ones that are going to hurt you. So, we came back yesterday, and it's still the same. It's the same process of growth when it comes to fundamentals. Regardless of who's on the field, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, you take those core fundamentals and they got to apply over. We missed a couple tackles there in special teams that cost us in some returns, and so it's everybody has to invest in those situations, and I believe we're building confidence through that. But obviously it's got to be every play, and there were some big plays that showed up there on Saturday that hurt us with that.
Got time for a couple more if anybody has anything else. Go Aslan and then finish with Ira.
Hey, Coach, TV cameras showed you kind of using the lateral play to Pokey that Andrew picked up and ran for a touchdown. TV cameras kind of showed you using that as a teaching moment with Andrew. Did he do something wrong in that situation?
It was a teaching moment. I thought, I appreciated Andrew's effort in the finish. Balls on the ground. Something you talk about all the time. Balls on the ground. You got to finish the play. There's one of the things that assignments and responsibilities for the play. I thought he could have been quicker in reacting to what we saw and be able to help the play. Maybe execute how we would have liked to have seen it. But definitely grateful that he finished the play, and You know, got a good bounce, got a good finish, and you scored a touchdown. So I didn't want to waste that moment to teach him an example that might be able to help him moving forward. And you know, how do we score?
Ira?
When you have some success on, we all talked about the failed fourth down tries. When you have some success on those, on both sides, and also just short yardage in general, what does that do for confidence when you get in those situations moving forward?
I mean, just it's kind of like what we talked about at the beginning. I mean, it's it tests you when you do not have success, and when you get those fourth down, it's 4th down and 2, first drive of the game, midfield. What are you going to do? What do you believe in? What is where I'm not going to blindly, if I don't feel good about the call, don't feel good about the situation, what we expect, then we're going to play the game, what we feel gives us the best chance to be able to win. But to go out there and to see that the execution of it and be able to put ourselves in a position to gain points, that's big. To see guys when we're down on the 1 inch line, and defensively, that's a big quarterback. And Kalen DeLoach, I mean, you talk about form-fitting tackle and playing with great paddle, running feet. I mean, that was a huge play, and then the swarm of our defense to keep him out of the end zone. I mean, those are things that you can definitely build upon, and just because you've gone through it, because you now have that example of that you build a little bit of that positive momentum. I think it can do wonders for you, as you move forward, and that's just like this game. I mean, it showed if it comes down to one play. If it comes down to a last drive, that offense, defense, special teams all played its role in getting the job done. I think it needed to be as close as it was. I mean, that's a whole nother issue, but it became that, and our guys were able to finish, and they were able to go win the game, and that was something that we needed to see. And if it shows up here in this week, next week, whenever that next opportunity that it's going to come down to a last play, our guys are going to have that confidence that they can go do it. And I'm really proud of them for the work that they put in that. But every one of those experiences are big. As you build confidence moving forward, individually in a game, on a side of ball, but then even as a program of what you're trying to accomplish and what you can do.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.